and stuff you don't. It's the Ben and Bren Show.
What the fuck is up, everybody? Back with the sound effects.
You're listening to the Ben and Bren Show, morning drive time show. Welcome back to 2025. Welcome to your life.
Oh my God!
Has it been a doozy, folks?
Happy New Year. We've got one episode out with the great Leah McKendrick.
Oh God, she's such a fucking gem.
Yeah, Leah is a legend, and
so good.
we love that. So that was our first episode, theoretically, of the year, but we just thought today we would just come at you with your two best friends and co-hosts and sex partners.
Boys hang.
Yeah, we thought we'd just, bring in the new year together and
Yep.
get into our shenanigans. And we got Jupiter here. Hazel's in the
Jupiter's-
house. She's
yep.
very unhappy because our other house is getting cleaned.
Yeah.
So she had to come over here.
Yeah.
We have multiple houses.
We're very lucky. Yeah.
I mean, well, we should take a moment
Yep.
to
Yep.
recognize that not everybody is so lucky and
No.
had a severe tragedy in Los Angeles, and anybody who, and I'm sure everybody knows at least somebody in LA that lost everything,
Yeah.
and it's just
It's devastating.
terrible. It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's truly the
The
worst.
misinformation was just like rampant. It was so
Yeah.
crazy. People that are like in fucking Mississippi, they're like, you should have gone out there and just done it. Whatever. I'm just like, what?
Go put the fire out.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, fly a helicopter. You try flying an helicopter in an airplane in 100-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
ridiculous.
that is everybody, and I can understand the desire to do this, but everybody, when something really terrible happens, they want to find somebody to blame. Like they want to, and so that's how these things become so political.
Democrats are doing that right now with Republicans taking
Yeah,
control.
it's just
everything. Yeah.
it's what always happens,
Yeah.
and the sad reality is, if people were like, well, why weren't there more measures taken? And it's like, well, nobody's gonna do that until they have to, because it's
Right.
gonna raise taxes. People are gonna be like, I don't want to fucking pay more
Why
taxes.
are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
I don't know.
and so-
we're going to be in the same position in years from now when it's fucking 150 degrees, and we're like, why didn't
Exactly.
we do
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah.
We've been trying to tell you.
Yeah. But nobody wants to do anything about it until it's too late. And then same thing like when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
And it's just always what happens with really big tragedies.
Inside job.
And
Yeah.
but it is truly awful. And then what's interesting too, I was talking to my dad, and he lives in Florida. Obviously, the media was covering the Palisades fire
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah.
He didn't even really know about the Altadena fire until like a handful of days
Yep.
into it.
Yep.
Like that wasn't getting the press coverage like Pasadena.
Aaron and I
was.
evacuated from West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And because the Runyon Canyon fire, I'm a mile from that.
Yeah.
But we're in the flats surrounded by buildings. I know that, Palisades was the same way, but in theory,
Palisades is more susceptible.
yeah, I did.
for
Yeah, they
sure.
were way more susceptible. West
You
Hollywood.
got a good distance between
Yeah.
you and
Did you see
those hills.
Dave Chappelle on SNL? He was like, then the fire started in West Hollywood, and he was like, I'm gonna butcher the punchline, but he was like, they're already up in flames or flaming or whatever. It was funny, a funny joke. Yeah.
There was, did you see Chappelle? I think I sent it to you guys in our Instagram
Group chat.
DM.
Yeah, I need to get back on some of those videos. Yeah.
About Chappelle was like, Diddy, he's in all sorts of trouble. He's like, he's in a RICO case by himself.
That man told me that I was going to go do great things Said it to my face on
I mean,
TV.
he had an eye for talent.
Yeah.
Can't take that away
And
from
butts.
him. And butts.
Yeah.
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 No, he
Yeah.
was skilled in these areas.
Yeah.
But he his days, I think, are a
Man,
wrap.
I mean, that's just wild. I mean, but if you look at like when that case came out, NPR had like a organized like timeline of everything that he's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
We're just now arresting him? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's so much shit.
He had it coming. The karma was building up. But yeah, so New Year, I haven't talked about this much, but I got a little baby boy on the way.
Oh my God. Let's hear it. Oh my God.
He's going to be doing a lot of this.
Yep.
Jupiter, you're going to have a little brother.
She's gonna have a little brother.
Little
I cannot
brother.
wait. I have I have my niece, my actual niece, but I have Amber's kid, niece, who's my niece, Addie. Now we're gonna have yours.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
nephew.
baby boom for
It's-
sure. We're the new boomers.
I know.
We're the new we're taking this shit
I'm
back.
we're gonna drain
boomer
my
squared.
bank account. I got too many kids to feed. Yeah.
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 So yeah, Vanessa and
That's very
I
exciting.
are gonna be parents. Jupiter is gonna be a big sister. Hazel's gonna be big sister again because she's already big sister to Jupiter. And I am entering father mode.
You got something else coming up in March. Are you want to talk about that, or is that low key?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about that
Okay.
yet.
Well, we don't have
Listeners will have to come back next time
Okay.
for more
All right.
info on that.
More details coming soon.
And
yeah.
so I am killing old Benny. I'm killing child Benny, and I'm birthing dad Benny.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Got the Nike gear on. You just went to the outlets, feeling good.
Okay, that's another thing.
Yeah.
The outlet shopping has changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm obviously familiar with outlet malls and all of that, but I've never shopped at an outlet. During the fires, we went down fortunately, our neighborhood was not affected, but the air quality was shit. And we woke up Thursday morning and there was ash like all over the ground. It was like, all right, we should dip out of here.
Get on out of here.
And so we went to Long Beach for the weekend, and our hotel was right by a good handful of outlet stores. And we went to Gap outlet and Nike outlet.
Yep.
And I probably got like $1,000 to like $1,200 worth of stuff for like $500.
Yep.
And
It's like a drug when you get that.
it is.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like. I was saying this the other day. I don't get like the gambling high or things
Yeah.
like that, but I
like
get
the
like
gambling.
a buzz off of a bargain. Like
Yep.
I get a bargain high.
Yep.
Like everything in this studio, the camera can't see everything else, but everything that I have, I don't buy a piece of gear unless I get like a deal that's like not like nothing, but significantly less than what the marketplace is has it for. And so that's when I'll pull the trigger and buy something. And so like normal shopping, it's like spending all this money, like it's not as fun. But outlet shopping, it's like, oh, I'm like beating the system.
Yeah.
I'm like getting a bunch of great stuff. Like I got some two pairs of really nice Nike sneakers that were probably like $150, $200 shoes, each for like $70.
Yeah.
Like that's
I don't
fucking
even. I
awesome.
skip straight to the outlets. It's like
Yeah.
whatever
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
kinda
find here,
don't-
I'm gonna be happy with. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of don't want to go normal shopping
No.
anymore. There's those ones out in Palm Springs on the way.
Yeah.
I didn't know those were outlet.
Yeah, I haven't hit
stores.
those up yet, but I always
So
drive past them. Yeah, when I'm doing
that
gigs and
is
stuff.
like I like want to make a trip to Palm Springs just to
just
do
for
that.
the outlets. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. I hit up Gap. I hit up Nike. There's in Florida when I go visit my grandparents. in Fort Myers, there's the Miramar outlets are so good.
Yeah,
they've
you
got
saw saying
a Reebok store. Fucking
Nice.
get me. I got the old school Reeboks.
I do
just
love some
plain
Reeboks.
trainers. Dad shoes. Love those. Love getting my gym wear. Just like I think they even have a Lululemon outlet there now too,
Nice.
which I fuck with Lulu a little bit.
It's expensive.
Yeah. In Kentucky, when I go home, there's a Columbia store not too close or not too far from me. These pants that I'm wearing right now are Columbia. It's my new favorite thing. I bought two pairs, a black pair and this pair, and Aaron and I, this is all we wear now,
Nice.
just like every day.
Yeah, down there they had a Columbia outlet too.
Yeah, and you have to. It's for employees only, but my mom gets like coupons. They'll give you like access every now and then if you're not like a Columbia employee or like. Maybe you have to be like a member. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like maybe like a Costco thing. I don't know.
Didn't your mom work in the court system?
Yeah, Mom.
She's just she's roped in.
She's a retired clerk. Yeah, court clerk. She was a circuit court clerk. The Columbia outlet is where it's at. We're reaching dad form. Yeah.
Oh, fully.
Fully.
Yeah. I got my baggy ass fucking Gap jeans.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of Gen Z. Like,
Yeah.
I had an artist in here the other day. She's like 20.
Yeah.
And I've been raving about my outlet experience to like everybody. Like that. I'm not exaggerating. That was like a truly great experience for me.
Makes you happy. It's retail therapy. That's why they call it retail therapy.
Really?
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I guess I'm not the first one to.
That's a term people use. People get high on shopping. Yeah.
I get the bargain high
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I get
the
it.
people that do the coupon clipping stuff and go to the grocery store and like take 3 carts out of shit. Have you seen
Well,
that? There's TV
yes.
shows about it.
Yeah, that seems more old school. I definitely do like the phone number at like every store,
Yeah.
CVS, Vons, all
I never
of
get
that
shit from CVS. I like always put in my number. They are pretty good about it, but I never check the app. I need to be
CVS isn't great about Whole Foods. Like with Prime, you get like $1 off of like a $300
Thanks,
grocery.
Jeff.
Yeah, fucking Jeff and his fucking
Jeff. Did you see the
gross ass wife?
I watched the Daily Show recap today about the inauguration. It was like Jon Stewart made a good point. He's like, 6 of the guys who control all the wealth in the world also control all of the news in the world now.
Yeah.
Facebook, Google,
Zuck
Tim
is
Cook.
such a
He
cuck.
has turned into. I mean, he was a lizard from the get-go.
But he's like he is such a bitch.
that fucking wig that he has on now.
He's that's the busset hair. That's the Gen Z busset hair.
so
No
cringe.
bus and no cap.
It is so cringe.
It is. Well, he was on.
He's
there's that.
cringe.
He's super. He's more cringe kind of to me than any of them. Like he's like such a beta bitch.
No one will see this episode if we post any clips on it for Instagram now because if we're talking about him, yeah.
Good.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Fucking cancel. I don't fuck you. But he said, did you see that clip where he was like bitching about Apple? Like saying they haven't invented anything and they're writing off the iPhone. It's watching a billionaire bitch.
You didn't invent Facebook. MySpace was way cooler.
Well, he didn't even there was those twins that invented Facebook.
Yeah,
he didn't
he
even
fucked
invent
them out
Facebook.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
No, he
insane.
truly sucks. That dude is such a loser.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, inauguration yesterday. I honestly like just really I
didn't watch
don't
any of it.
care
I didn't
anymore.
watch any of it.
I just really don't care.
I just talked to my oh, no, I know another thing I was going to bring up about the fires. Fox News posted on Facebook like a article. It was like statue of Jesus, whatever, survives the fires.
Yeah, I saw
and I'm like, hold on a second.
just
here.
like all of the chimneys.
Am I high? Yeah. It was a statue of like a religious figure or something, or I don't know, Catholic something or whatever. I'm like, guys, it's concrete.
Yeah, it's rock.
It's rocks.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
That's blew my mind. Like, I know they just like, obviously it's propaganda city, but like, how dumb do you have to be to not just critically think for yourself right there? Like, oh yeah, well of course it didn't burn.
People. That is one
So
thing
ignorant.
I've known for a long time now. But like, I don't know. There's something about like entering this new phase of my life as like a guardian.
Yeah.
It's like people are so stupid.
Yeah. I saw a meme the other day.
crazy.
It was like you don't realize until we get kind of the age that we are now that like most adults are like super like
Yeah,
really
no,
stupid.
they're no more intelligent
Yeah.
than they were when they were in their 20s.
Because when you're young, and even when you're in your 20s, even you hold your older generations as to such a high.
well, yeah, they're like
Like,
they're
oh,
like
you know what you're
parental
doing.
guardian,
Yeah.
like kind of roles.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I was when we were evacuating the other day. I'm switching topics now, but I just remembered I wanted to say we were evacuating the other day. Like as soon as I came home from the studio with you, it was like 5:30. I was like, cool. I put a pizza in the air fryer. I like got high, pretty high, and then Aaron was like packing up. He like started packing after he was like, Runyon Canyon is on fire. And we were like, we turned on all the news, and I was running around the house just like, I was in my underwear, just like eating pizza. He's got a backpack, got his sweatshirt on and everything. He was like, are you going? I was like, I think I'm going to stay behind. I think I'm fine. And he was like, no, we need to go. And I was like, it's fine. And then we left, and I'm glad that we did.
yeah.
So that's
You would have
the
also
story.
been fine though.
Would have been fine, but also the house did smell terrible when we got back. So
Oh,
it was like,
really?
yeah. It was pretty smoky.
Yeah. Did you get air purifiers?
We did.
got two
It's
of them.
fun watching that thing. It's got a
Hazel
little,
loves that thing.
It's got a little light on it with a percentage, and it's just like when we turned it on, it was like, boo, and I was like,
Oh, like
all
the air
right.
quality?
Yeah, I was like, oh, do your
interesting.
shit, and then it like slowly would get better or whatever.
Interesting.
It's probably a scam, but
Somewhere in the middle. Something in between.
But yeah, I smoked a little weed too the other day, and it like as soon as the smoke got to it, it was like, yeah,
Warning.
warning,
Your lungs should not have that.
you are
inside of it.
gay.
Okay, so I've been meaning to say this, and I just keep forgetting. We were in the UK early December. Tell me why you get off the airplane and every man in the UK looks like their bloodline is absolutely
Straight from the king.
riddled with disease.
Every white man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just like everybody looks
Yeah.
just like.
You know what I think it could be is not as much sunlight over there. Maybe. And
Or
inbreeding.
I think of the disease.
Yeah, and
and it's a small
Yeah.
island. There's a lot of incest.
vitamin D and inbreeding.
Yeah,
A vitamin D deficiency.
and shit food.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
not.
Yeah, Benny's not a fan of the London food. Yeah.
And that's the thing.
I've had good experiences.
Any ethnic food in
Yeah.
London,
Yeah.
is gonna be great.
Yeah. Indian food. Yeah.
Anything else, terrible.
You
Terrible.
can't, just like in New York, you can't get good Mexican food.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
There's no
but
good
then
Mexican
here,
food.
it's hard to find good Chinese food, but in New York, it's good Chinese food.
Yeah. Which is it's always been really interesting to me that New York just has no Mexican food.
Yeah.
I guess apparently if you go out further in Queens, there's
Right.
some areas, but
just like in the.
but Manhattan,
yeah,
there is
Manhattan area.
no Mexican food.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, you could go to hipster food truck probably in Brooklyn and probably get some pretty
well,
decent stuff,
there's
but
down in the West Village. This is actually the one Mexican
yeah.
food place I like. There's a food truck down in the West Village right by like Fat Cat, or what
Yeah.
formerly was Fat Cat, and
Yeah.
55
R.I.P.
Bar,
Fat Cat.
RIP 55 Bar.
Yeah.
New York has really gone downhill.
Oh my God. I am so glad that I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
I love LA. This is the best decision that I ever made in my whole life. I'll just start out by saying like in the past week has been transformational.
Yeah,
That Lexapro?
Let's take note here. I don't think I've ever seen Brennan happier. Brennan's on a on a high wave.
Okay, so when I went through my meth addiction years ago, it's been over a decade now. I was on Wellbutrin, and
Is that a SSRI?
that's a SSRI. It's anti-anxiety. It's often combined with Lexapro. I don't know the specifics, but some people are on both.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to my doctor about like how can we make me more happy.
we'll
but we're
continue.
starting with Lexapro.
Yeah.
I started with 5 milligrams. Started to feel pretty good the last couple of months, and then last week. And they say
It takes a second.
On Reddit, like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's about 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm on 10 milligrams. I switched. You lick my butthole. I feel so good. Like, I mean, and I just came from getting
rimmer.
my ass waxed actually from here. Yeah,
Does that
Mary,
hurt?
shout out to Mary. She waxes my butt. It feels so good.
Does it feel good at the time?
She got new wax. I was going to European Wax Center, and she works for them too, but she has a studio in her house. Well, it's her bedroom, but she has like a table and stuff. And I just came over for the first time today because they pulled out the European Wax Center right up the street from me. So I would go to the gym and then go get my ass wax. And it was perfect right there, but they pulled it out. So now I go to Mary's house. So feeling good about that. Feels good to not have hair on your butthole.
I've
It's
never
really
had
good.
that
You,
experience.
I know you don't have butt sex with men, but like you should try it out sometime. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Pretty hairy.
Yeah.
Pretty hairy guy.
Yeah, it gets, if you get all that out of there, it's just like, ooh,
No dingleberries.
little baby butt. Yeah. Yeah, I realized the other day. Okay, so yeah. So I was hanging out with Ursula and Dylan. Hey guys. And we did a little Molly trip, and I just love Molly so much. I only
great.
for those of you out there that know me, and I know I still do some drugs and stuff sometimes. I'm not a fucking meth head anymore. We'll do a Molly hang like every couple months, like a couple times a year.
Yeah.
You don't want to hurt your brain too bad, So Ursula and I we're on the floor, and we put our heads together, and we were like, I love you, and you're so special, and we were just words of affirmation.
Is that your guys' love languages?
Our love language, yeah. And we did a little bump of K, and
Mixologist.
which just sends it right to the moon, yeah. And we channeled Rick.
Aw.
And it was amazing. And it was so crazy because we were so close, and something about Molly is really or just psychedelics in general, when you're doing them together with friends and loved ones, you go to places together. You can, when we were hanging the last time and we did the Wim Hof breathing, weren't you with us?
That wasn't
You weren't
with
with
you
us.
guys there.
Okay.
But
We did
love some
Wim Hof breathing as we were coming down, tripped balls right back up to the moon with just the breathing.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
anyway,
air, oxygen,
Yeah.
you can get a euphoric high just from deep breathing, while in a sober state.
oh my God. And so we saw Rick, and we were like, because I started to mumble had our eyes shut, just facing down on the floor, fetal position, both of us. We were like, do you see that? I was like, do you see the colors, Ursula? And we were seeing the same colors. And I was like, where's Rick? And then Rick appeared in our minds and was there was this warm feeling that we got he was with us.
That's awesome.
And he was on a fucking jet ski wearing meta goggles, playing video games, and
That's
riding on a jet
incredible.
ski in the cosmos. So
That's amazing.
it's just been so great. I've talked about this on the pod before. I've been with Aaron, my partner, for the last 2.5 years of being partners, being friends, being whatever we are. Couldn't make sense of it. There's a lot of ingrained homophobia that I have had that comes from just growing up in the South, religious indoctrination, just culture in general.
I feel like I think that's a thing just on a larger scale that we think that people deal with.
And here's this free spirit, beautiful person that walks into my life, And I'm at such a depressive state, even when I moved to LA. Didn't realize how chemically imbalanced I was with the depression until now. But going back and realizing like there's something kind of off or icky about this or, situation that I'm in. We weren't having great sex. I was seeking the sexual part out from other people that was just transactional, not love. And lo and behold, after putting him through the ringer for 3 years the other day, bow chicka wow wow.
Did I download a...
Do the and it was like magic. And we're back, baby. We're so back.
Hell yeah.
And I just am so grateful. And Aaron, if you're listening, he listens sometimes. I love you and thank you for dealing with my bullshit for the past almost 3 years now. We've had some wonderful times. We've had great times. And even throughout it all, it was like we always knew that we were going to love each other and be friends and celebrate.
I mean, you
support each
haven't
other.
been in like a committed relationship
since 2013, really.
And honestly,
yeah.
well, I guess Corey, that was a
Corey was
better
tumultuous. I
relationship,
love
but-
Corey though. He was so good, kind to me. And
But like all of the romantic relationships that you've had have a fair... Well, okay, this let me say this, not so blanketed, but like a lot of the relationships have a fair degree of dysfunction involved in them.
Yeah.
Obviously,
or somebody
Charles
that doesn't, or like the last guy I dated in New York that I took back like at a second time was like full narcissist, like ghosted me, like.
So that's what you're familiar with.
Yeah.
You're familiar with like dysfunction,
and it goes
to
back
some degree
to that quote that I've said before that really struck me with this guy. I think Alan something on YouTube. I saw him. It was like we gravitate towards what's familiar to us,
what you're familiar with. Yeah,
and that
whether it's good or good, bad, whatever, it's the familiarity is what we go towards.
My therapist is going to just like shit a brick next time we talk because we haven't spoken in like a month, and so I've had this transformation yet again. Sean has heard from me like every other week, like, yeah, we're fine. Me and Aaron are great. And then the next week, like, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
And then the Lexapro, baby boy, she's working. She's working good.
No,
I have a whole new outlook. I don't listen to the news. I haven't turned on the news since the election. I don't care. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do except protest and vote.
Yeah.
End of story. Why are you infecting your brain every day with shit?
Yeah.
Do you have poop in your brain? This episode is sponsored by Lexapro. I have more to say. In 2018, I moved to New York after Benny pulled me out of Memphis, which I loved Memphis and I still do. It'll always have a place in my heart.
I called him up.
Yep.
Actually, I didn't. But
well, he
had to get that
came
in
to
there.
a gig.
Yeah.
That we used to play at Molly Fontaine, and he was like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, get." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And so I moved my ass to New York, fell in love with my roommate, sang at a bunch of weddings, and made some money, and kind of goofing off, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I wrote this down to talk about. I remember we had lunch one day, and I still was struggling to find who I was as an artist. It was only recent. It was the release of Free, my first album, was like pretty profound, like experimental, like, okay, this is what I can sound like. Okay, cool. And then you came along and we made some stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, well, this is leveling up. And then we had lunch one day, and I still remember this conversation because I was like, oh yeah, you were like, okay, we gotta like, you need to make some shit. Like you need to like, you were trying to tell me basically like, you gotta just be an artist now. Like you can't bullshit yourself. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was basically like Daddy was having a talk with me and we had to like make some moves. And then we made Make It Work, the EP, and that was great. And then
Yeah,
I was
Make It Work and Bad Habit, the 2 first singles did great.
Yeah. And we had millions of streams on those. It was great. And riding pretty high when I got to New York because we did the 4. That was like airing as I was moving to New York. So I like got recognized on the subway. I was like,
Nice.
Life is happening. And then it quickly devolved into like more depression, just, figuring out what my life was. And like New York is such a stressful place to be in for an artist.
New York's a hard place to live.
I mean, shout out to my friends that are doing it and love it. I get it. I hear you. It is great. I love being there. I'm going back next month for a gig. Fantastic. Love to see my people. Love to be in the city for a little bit. It is so much markedly better out here.
well, especially as you get older.
Yeah.
Like New York is a young person's town.
I realized
Generally.
the other day, I told Aaron in bed, I turned to him and I was like, I think I have been depressed since like 2018. And I've been chasing it with drugs and
Self-medicating.
and Molly trips or shrooms or whatever. And like, I'm fine. And then, thank you pharmaceuticals, I guess, because, that shit has fixed my brain.
Yeah.
We're making some of the best music. I'm freaked out.
Deeper Well, which will be one of the singles, is kind of about
It's
that
about
idea.
K-holes.
Yeah.
It's about putting yourself in a K-hole and having an existential crisis. But it's so beautiful, and I can't wait to release
There's like
that.
the lyric, fill my head with the worst of the world.
Something about the way it feels down there. I wish I could care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot wait to show that to the world, and we've got some other stuff and like
Some
this
real ass
dance,
shit.
this dance vibe that I'm on now too. We're
Yeah.
gonna make some electronic records. Which, by the way, we should. Aaron and I were talking about this the other day because we're working on the new record, but like we need to drop the one for Pride. Like it needs to come out.
Yeah.
It needs to be out there.
When is Pride?
Like June. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
We need to just rip that one just as a little one-off. But
Well, let's put
anyway.
the EP out before that
Yeah.
and then roll that
Yeah.
out after.
So depressed, yeah, fine. See you later. I was so compelled the other day. Here's how I know I was so depressed too. Rarely will anybody ever see me talk to the camera, like face the camera on my stories. Like, how a lot of people are very active on social media, like, hey guys, and da. I would rarely do that. And now I like feel compelled to just do it. Like whatever I'm doing, I've let go of anything, any judgment. I posted a classical piano piece the other day. Because I'm really practicing a lot of my old pieces now and really enjoying that and getting a lot of satisfaction from like seeing how good I am at classical piano. Because that was my life for the first 25 years, And there's obvious mistakes to a pianist listening to what I was playing.
But also,
Who cares?
Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, nobody. Who fucking cares?
It's beautiful. What I played was good. It was sufficient. I made a note that I was practicing Ravel, not performing it. And I've got my piano mic'd up very beautifully, so it sounds really nice in the recording. And I was like, I'm going to share this with people. I also went on my story the other day and shared with people like, hey, y'all, if you didn't know, antidepressants really work.
Yeah,
And
I
you
saw that,
really
yeah.
should look into it.
Yeah. No, they're a game changer for sure.
I was of the mind of like, I don't want to be on pills every day.
Well, that's normal. I think that is because one, I had that. I think that is trying to think of the word, like the initial reaction or judgment people have about getting on an antidepressant is like the stigma around it of like being on medication.
Yeah.
And I think it's particularly more so for men.
Yeah.
I think there's like a pride or like I don't need blah blah blah. But it was like
the
that was
manliest
kind of
thing that you can do is take care of your mental health.
yeah. And that was funny for me. It was like I was smoking weed every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't need anything.
That'll bring
but
you
I'm
down.
like,
But it'll bring you down.
For sure.
I've been
Yeah.
doing the gummies lately and not smoking. We'll just take a little 10 milligram before we go to the movies, or like if we're just hanging watching TV. I feel great. I'm not like weighed down necessarily. I know you're completely off of it.
Yeah,
We got that Kava tea, sponsored by Kava.
Kratom. Yeah, shout out Kratom. That's my fun little buzz I get
That's
now.
medicine. It's from the earth, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like anything. You just have to. You can't rely on it. It's like you could do anything. Like you could drink, you could smoke,
Yeah.
but it's like if it gets to a point of reliance, that's where it becomes problematic. And yeah, I mean, Lexapro was a game changer for me. I mean, like I was particularly really, really struggling with anxiety. Like I just woke up every day and like just had that somatic just like tightness in my chest, and I was like, I got to the point where it's like I can't keep living like this. Like this is miserable, and it was just terrible. And I really caved meaning like not in a negative way, but I was like, I need help. Like I need.
I'm glad you did it. I was
and my
in
therapist
full support.
says it like every session. She's like, just been saying like how like great it's been and how wild it is, just crazy to like observe this journey I've sort of been on. And she was like, but I think the medication was like a very integral step to have taken. And I agree. I mean, it's also the thing, because talking to my psychiatrist, who's the one that prescribes it, because like I feel like you can't just look to rely on the medication. Like you have to.
You got to do the work.
You got to do the work. You have to eat well. You have to exercise. You have to I do this deep breathe, the Wim Hof deep breathing. Like you have to do everything else to supplement it. And then if you're doing those other things, it can work even more so. And I mean, it's literally like rewiring. A great visualization that my therapist used was like, imagine your brain is like a ski slope, like, or a ski mountain, and it's got all these different ruts and all of that. And she's like, what SSRIs do, it basically just is like a fresh snowfall and a fresh blanket of clean patch of snow to kind of rewire things. And it's been great for me. Like it's like really a lot of the things that I was struggling with, I wouldn't say they necessarily disappear, but they don't. Well, one, you figure out how to manage them better, and they also just don't have the same emotional impact that they previously had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't feel daunted by things. I'm like, I'll pay that credit card bill. It's fine. You know, like I'm going to get money. It's fine. This is all right. You know, let those goons do whatever the fuck they're going to do. It's fine. And, you know, there were some encouraging, and this is not to minimize what's happening in the world. It is truly terrible. And we are privileged to be able to be in the position that we are and
100%.
Not be affected by largely a lot of it.
Yeah.
But what good is it doing us if we're just filling our heads with the worst of the world every day?
Yeah.
And, you know, I just can finally see the path forward.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And therapy in general, I was going to piggyback off what you said. My psychiatrist that I used to have back in Memphis, whenever I went through rehab, I'm so grateful that my parents put me in this specific program, because it wasn't an AA, which is very religious space. No shade to anybody that seeks comfort in that. It's great if it works for you. I didn't want any God in it. I wanted to know what was going on in my brain. We literally went to class every day. That was like, the psychiatrist, this brilliant man, was like, here's your brain, and this is what's happening when you're putting these substances in it. This is what's happening when negativity does. You know, it's like very illustrative and easily, you know, we talk about norepinephrine and like all of these different chemicals that your brain produces and responds to different things. And that's what meth was doing. It was just rewiring, ripping all the cables out. And Lexapro and SSRIs repair those neural pathways.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. I'm so happy. I can't imagine if we didn't have this science. I'd still be on this little cycle of like, oh, maybe I'll write a song today. I don't know. I mean, depression makes a great song.
It does, but it's
Yeah.
there's plenty of other negative effects.
But now I'm excited to go and sit on the piano for fucking 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like I was doing in college, practicing or whatever, or goofing. I'm excited to go to my gig.
Yeah.
The Beverly Wilshire gig that I do. I have a residency at the Beverly Wilshire 3 days a week, and now doing Soho on Monday nights.
Everybody
Soho
go
House,
out.
That's where you need to come. But Beverly Wilshire's been so good to me. I love them. It's been such a great gig. They pay me so well and treat me so well. But they've never gotten me a piano. I play my keyboard. It's a little rinky-dink, whatever. And that was part of my depression too. I'm like, I'm a shit artist. I'm playing a keyboard at a hotel and, da-da-da. And now I'm just like, fuck it, man. I'm great and people fucking love it.
Yeah.
And when I go up there, my job is to literally go, beep, 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 fly me to the moon. And I get paid for that. And then I go home and I whack off. Great life.
Yeah.
Thanks, neural pathways. This is great.
Yeah.
But going back to the homophobia ingrained stuff and the society thing that I was talking about, it's like, I've been thinking that I'm not shit because I'm not here or here or here or what this person's doing. Stop comparing yourself to everybody.
Yeah, it's like the more you can stay in your own world and like what you were saying, have things to look forward to and be excited about, and not like, vacation, which is fun, but like your daily life, like having things that like you're passionate about and look forward to doing. It's so important, and it's so hard to have that state of mind when you're in a dark place mentally.
Yeah.
Like, and it, in my experience, when you're like that, it almost feels like, will I ever get out of this? Will I ever not be in that? So if anybody is, does not stay that way. I think it's just, you just have to stick to it, and you can't take the easy ways out, and you have to.
It just all clicked for me this past week.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it all eventually does, as long as you just stay the course.
Yeah. I really
can't give up.
I really want to feel like this every day. I hope it stays this way.
Yeah.
Like my drug brain the other day was like, this is what 10 milligrams feel like. I wonder what 20 will feel like. That's a drug addict. That's a drug addict.
For sure. That's addiction behavior.
So yeah, I literally emailed my psychiatrist. I was like, just want to let you know I feel great. And that was the message. It was like 10 milligrams is great. I didn't ask for anything. I was just to update.
Yeah.
Feel great. So
no, they're for sure game changers.
I don't know if it's letting go of things or like being okay with mistakes or things, but my jazz playing leveled the fuck up in the past.
Getting those altered chords in there.
There's a lot of knowledge that, I didn't have studying such intense classical music, because I can read the fuck out of music. Like I can play anything in front of me almost instantly. Unless it's like a crazy Ravel piece that I gotta shred, know. But going through like the little jazz school that I'm in online, and like just like tinkering with that for even just a few hours here and there, and then applying that at my gigs. Like last night I was a freak at Soho House. Like I was like playing solos that I was actually actively listening for my ear, instead of just plucking out and trying to find something. It was like my hands were automatically going to shapes and scales.
Yeah.
And those pathways to jazz are getting singed together.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm like, I'll play and I'll be like, that was really good. Like that was.
Oh shit! I'm
shit.
good.
But Noah said, he was like, you're fucking Oscar Peterson over there tonight. I was like, that is unreal, because he was a freak. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. No, Oscar Peterson, truly one of the goats.
Nuts.
You still need to come up to our gym, but they have jazz up in the bar lounge up there. It's like a fun little hang.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing and it's really effective and the stigma, it's an unfortunate thing, but it's a really and it's not. That's also I think the thing for me too was like my worry of if before getting on it was like, oh, am I just gonna like not be myself? I'm gonna be all like drugged out, but it's not that way at all.
I was scarred from that exact same thing when I was on Wellbutrin years ago after rehab. They do have some sexual side effects sometimes. It'll take
SSRIs can, yeah.
It'll take a while to come, or you may not get hard or whatever. And so I was kind of scarred from that. But then also at the same time that I was leaving rehab, some months later, as I was on those SSRIs, I like started doing coke again.
Doing drug counter cancels it out.
So
generally.
I'm on a very much more holistic approach now in my life to that. But
do you masturbate often?
No.
I've quit for a long time now.
No, I really don't. I don't have the desire to. And
it's honestly
porn,
like
for me,
kind of depressing.
I do like watching porn sometimes. Like if I'm going to masturbate, I'm going to watch porn, and I'm not ashamed of that. I don't have a porn addiction or anything. Just sex. Just sex stuff. Yeah,
that's where I'm at. I'm
sometimes I'll get the urge. I'll get on an app and I'll go hook up with somebody, but very rarely.
Yeah.
It also like as you get older, the grinder thing is like. I mean, no shade to people that get satisfaction from it. It's no judgment there. But for me personally, it's like I need to go on a date with you first before I want to really
Yeah.
Most of the time. Sometimes I get a little wild and I'll be like, "What's up, stranger? Do you want to do butt stuff?" Yeah. Oh my God. I fed a squirrel.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Unlocked. Dream unlocked.
So good. I have been setting out treats just every so often. If I see a friendly one in my yard, I'm like, hey, I'll like say something to it. And I try to mimic their little sound. Like, what is it? Something like that. Yeah, what was I doing? I'll have to hear them again. But I'll make little sounds, and then I'll like kind of speak to them like a puppy, and they are curious. And if you bend down, they'll like sort of start going towards you and like, what you got? You got anything for me?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is the same guy that I've been dealing with, or if it's just maybe he's told his friends.
Word's getting out.
Yeah, word's getting out.
This guy's got free food.
Yeah. I have a bag of walnuts, just unsalted walnuts in my apartment, and I'll put them in my pocket, and I'll just have random walnuts in my pocket now if I'm walking around West Hollywood. And
it's very country.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my mom was like, "You can't take the boy. You can take the boy out the South, but you can't take the South out of the boy." And so Aaron got it on film the other day. It's on my Instagram if you guys want to check it out.
You need to post that on TikTok.
Yeah, I do. Now that it's back.
Yeah.
3 hours later.
Yeah.
3 hours later. Yeah, so squirrels are awesome. I used to have a squirrel pet.
Flying squirrel.
A sugar glider, yeah. But she was...
Ethel? Wasn't that the name?
She was a bitch. I talked to my manager at work the other day. She has 2 of them, and she was like, oh, she probably was bad because she didn't have a friend. They will die without a partner.
Companion.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And that is... I'm sorry, Ethel. That's probably why you didn't last long. I did give her away to someone that had others. So she probably has a nice life now, or maybe she's dead at this point. I don't know.
Either way.
Also, thought I was going to wait. We thought we were going to wait for it.
You're pregnant.
I'm pregnant with a golden retriever. Yeah. I am. Aaron and I are going to probably adopt first. Like I want to get maybe a there's this dog Wheezy we saw on the Golden Retriever Rescue is like 19 months old. Kind of looks like Jupe.
Yeah. You definitely need to get a young one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you're like fostering.
I know.
But like I have some friends that got like a 8 or 9 year old dog like a few years ago, and he recently passed. And obviously you get super attached. It becomes like a part of your family.
I don't want to put another dog down a year later. I just can't do that right now. Yeah. Rick was enough for me to go through, and I had a year and a half to process his cancer.
Yeah.
And know that it was coming, and it was beautiful. It was fine. Oh, it was a sweet moment last night at Soho House. His vet, Danny, came. Shout out Danny Chang. We love Danny at Modern Animal. Danny brought all of his friends, and there's this song from Mary Poppins called Feed the Birds, and it's really beautiful. A song, and I like found a nice arrangement of it, and I played it because that was the song that Danny's like a Disney freak, and he played that song as we were putting Rick to sleep.
Damn.
And I played it last
drain
night,
you
and
of
he
tears.
was in tears. Yeah.
Damn.
And it was so sweet, and I was like, "That's for you." I said over the mic, I was like, "That's for you, Danny and Rick."
Damn.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
So squirrels are great. Dogs
Jupiter
are great.
loves
Gonna get a golden.
squirrels.
No, so Aaron and I want to get a house eventually soon once he sells some TV shows or movies, and I think that we start with a rescue and then maybe get a golden pup later.
Yeah,
So
get two of them.
I'm gonna get two.
Okay, level it up,
and then like eventually a donkey. Yeah.
Yeah. Rockosaurus Farms.
Yeah. I have to get a donkey, alpaca, cow, and like I watch cat videos too.
Cat videos are probably the best.
And I'm like,
videos.
should I get a cat? I am allergic.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I mean, so, like at your house, sometimes when I babysit, I go raid y'all's cabinet and spray the nasal spray.
Yeah.
Because that like takes it away mostly. But yeah.
Cats are hilarious.
Yeah.
Cats are, I do love. I mean, like the really bitchy ones, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Could go without
Hazel's
that.
so great.
Yeah,
She's got a good disposition about her. Like, because she's like, the hisses are just like, okay, I love you, but get the fuck away.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
ultimately she's truly a lover, but she tries to front it a little bit. But like,
she's a little rascal. I call her my little rascal.
Yeah, she loves affection. She loves hanging out. Like, she can pretend all she wants, but she ain't fooling anybody.
She'll hiss the fuck out of you and then come be rubbing on your leg 3 minutes later.
Yeah. No, she's an introvert. That's where me and her relate. But Jupiter highly extroverted. Jupiter's the athlete extrovert. Hazel's the introvert artist.
Yeah,
like
she is.
that's their vibes.
Like Jupiter's like Van Gogh. Like she might cut her ear off. Like, she's like crazy.
Yeah.
But she's genius.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I am going on The Price is Right on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Well, right. I mean that you have to be selected to play the games, but I'm gonna be in the audience.
We did that like 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Me and my family.
Yeah.
It's fun. You'll have a good time.
How long does it last? Am I going to be there all day?
Kind of. That's like the
4
one
hours?
thing that's like sort of annoying about it.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of your day.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of a lot of sitting around.
Yeah.
But it'll be a fun experience.
I mean, I'd love to win $10,000 in cash and prizes.
Yeah.
So we're going to the cash special though. So it's not like you're going to win a jet ski. It's like cash.
I would honestly I would rather the cash.
Yeah. I really would like the
item.
experience of winning a Winnebago though. Like I want an RV so bad.
Yeah.
What time are we at?
We got like a few more minutes.
Okay. I wanted to also say I wrote down too in my notes. I had a flashback this week of Judgment House.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know if it's a thing in the other parts of the country other than the South, but back in the day when we were in youth group, we went to Judgment House. My friends reminded
That sounds traumatic.
It's a haunted house for religious people.
What's in there? This is amazing. What is? I've never heard of this.
Benny, It's in a church. It was in a church. I remember it was in a church. I think it was in Princeton, Kentucky, I want to say, or Madisonville, one of them.
Not the Ivy League, Princeton.
No. No, Princeton, Kentucky, Lake Town, close to the lake. I don't remember it exactly. I remember there was a car accident scene. So you go through. They have it set up like a haunted house. Like there's, proper dividers and there's actors and they're doing these scenes out. I remember,
but one of them's Muslim.
yeah, yeah, probably. I remember one of them. It takes you through like a story of a family's life or like different people and the choices that they make. Mm-hmm. Okay. And one of them ended in like a car accident because someone had been drinking or whatever. And then
this is like,
yeah,
this is trauma. And then fuel.
you go in, and it is. I still remember the trauma from this day of being traumatized by it. You go through hell. You go through hell, and Satan was there, and he was like, like looking at everybody all demonically and stuff. And then you get at the end, you meet Jesus, and he's just hanging out there.
Saves the day.
Yeah, he saves the day. And I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, how fucked up is that?
That's super fucked up.
I just can't.
That's super fucked up.
People really go through that their whole lives and really believe, like, wholeheartedly in the Bible, and or any religious thing. And it's just, I just wanted to comment on it because I was just like, I hadn't thought about that in a year. Another thing that another thing that I went to that you would have loved, religious or not, was the Power Team. We talked about this, I think, on an older episode.
Remind me, but love the name.
Fucking wrestlers, like professional-looking wrestler dudes for Christ.
Yes. Yes.
And they would
Power Team.
Yeah, the power of Christ. It was like the Power Rangers, but like in tights. Power Rangers are in tights.
Is it like wrestling matches?
No, they would not wrestle.
Or they're just like superhero
doing stunts, chopping blocks, ripping a phone book in half. Yeah, and I remember that. God, that was so cringe,
shit.
but like awesome. It's kind of
shit.
like the monster truck version of like it was like kind of like going to see monster trucks or something.
I love monster trucks.
Yeah, they're in town right now. I think they're doing.
Well, they just happened in Anaheim.
They always happen in January. It's like a winter thing. It's
that's
we
interesting.
go to the arena and see the monster trucks.
Yeah.
Gravedigger used to be the
my Gravedigger's still
alive.
Still the franchise.
The brand is still going.
Yeah. They're like the.
Imagine working for that team. Just like that's your life.
That would be awesome. You probably don't get paid very much. Maybe you do. I don't know. I guess it's a pretty big market.
Do you know what I thought the other day that I would do if I quit music was be a truck driver? Because you can get a lot of time off and you just drive and just listen to podcasts.
Yeah. Get paid decently.
Paid
Yeah.
bank.
You get six figures, I think, from
a truck driver. Yeah. The trick is you got to own your own truck.
Yeah.
You got to invest in your equipment, and then you make more money that way.
Yeah, got to ante up.
Yeah, Judgment House, man, that was wacky. That was a wacky time.
That is great.
It's so interesting coming to finally confront your past in that regard, and being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Have you listened? Have you ever read The God Delusion by Richard
No,
Dawkins?
but I've heard about this.
Put that on audiobook.
Yeah.
Listen to that. It's just wild. Yeah.
I'm reading another. I always forget dude's name. Sapien Homodeus.
You're all Navari.
So finished Homodeus a couple months ago, and now Vanessa got me his book. I forget if it's called 21st Century
21 Lessons for the 21st Century.
Yeah. I'm reading that now.
Yeah, I've got it. And then Nexus.
Yeah, that I'll probably read next. It's good. It's a little. I'm not that far into it, but he kind of is saying a lot of the same points that he does in the other books. It's like a bit more opinion based, and he talks about AI and how it's gonna automate the job sector and all of that, and and how he talks about like the creative field and how that'll impact it and everything. And he makes a lot of good points around it that I do agree with, and how like, I mean, I'm witnessing it and diving into it myself, making music with AI and having it, putting it in the marketplace. And but the one thing that he says about it, it's like how, this was actually great. One of the great things that it really stuck with me, he was like, as a musician, your primary instrument is the human biochemical system.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's such an interesting way to put it. And his point being
making people feel something.
Well, yeah, the chemical, the hormone system in the body is what creates emotions.
Yeah.
And like it's a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Which is, how Lexapro works.
Yep.
It balances out the hormones and chemicals, and he was saying that with more time and research, researchers will be able to figure out in music what combination of things creates what chemical responses, and which is like true, but it's like definitely judging from experience, that's simplifying the human experience with art too much. Like it's not that simple. It's not that black and white. It's such a subjective consumption, music, and it's just because you check the boxes off of, I did this thing that will create this emotional response. It doesn't, in practice, at least in practice meaning like having it out performing for people, it's not like you do this and people will respond this way. Like it's there's so much gray area in it, and it's just not such a simple equation. But it is a thing, and like the AI technology that exists.
Give it to me.
For
put it in my veins.
Yeah, I mean it's really,
it's gonna make our lives so much easier. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll make it easier.
Shit. I mean, if we can just figure out and get the fucking billionaire tycoons from siphoning every dollar from everybody else, and really fix that system, and let AI let us have nice lives.
Well, that's another interesting point he talks about, is the technology has already existed for a while, of where, you can, they're not trying to do this anymore. This is a capability of harvesting organs.
Yeah.
But the government has basically regulated that and said like, no, we can't do that, like that for ethics or whatever reasons. But like that technology does exist.
You mean to be able to like grow a heart?
Yeah,
in a lab?
and like create basically like organ farming, more or less.
Speaking of farming, I just have an envisionment of like automated combines, which they already really have. Automated planters, automated harvesters, automated like a conveyor system of our food, that we can, agriculture will change with AI as well. Like
for sure.
Being able to, you may be able to, in certain parts of the world, have an AI run your little mini farm and feed your family.
Yeah.
And then
100%.
like infrastructure wise, I'm like, well, first of all, we should just have high speed rail everywhere, but that we're not set up that way because of our city's infrastructure from hundreds of years ago. But I'm just thinking like, I mean, fucking Elon dickhead, like if there just were Tesla contracts or electric car contracts with cities and nobody has a car anymore, you just call, you just push on your phone or you tell your house, like, I need a ride to downtown, and it comes. And that's a service that just like taxes pay for.
Yeah.
So
this is probably a controversial opinion to have, but I don't give a fuck. And I think I don't think the electric or at least the system we have right now, the electric car market is not
It's not doing great.
improving sustainability.
Yeah.
Because you're still having to power. That power is coming from somewhere. It's not coming from the sun. It's coming from power plants, which are fueled by fossil fuels.
We need nuclear energy.
I was about to say, we need nuclear.
Yep.
That is,
Goes
solar,
on for thousands of years without needing anything else.
Solar and nuclear are the only possible things that are on the table at this point for green energy.
And Republicans love telling all the dumb people that that's not the answer, but it is.
Well, that's what's interesting about nuclear. It's like it's a topic that one's not discussed that much, but it's not, at least from what I've sort of witnessed, it's not as partisan of a thing as other issues.
Yeah.
It's like there's supporters and critics from both parties. And it's like, it's one of those things that it's, I'm sure there's a bunch of Republicans that are not for it because of, the oil business and all of that.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of Democrats that are critics of it because of it could blow up and fucking destroy a city or whatever.
Well, we're scared of it because we're still Chernobyl. Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah.
But nuclear, and there needs to be a lot more R&D for solar for it to really make a difference. But it's like those are the only means of really getting to green energy. Like the electric car thing, that is a big farce. Yeah. Like it's bullshit because that power is coming from fossil fuels.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of cyclical there in a way. Also, the mining of the ingredients that it takes to get.
Yeah, it's not green. It is not a green.
Yeah. And people,
system.
I've heard that like children are like being slaves to get it.
Yeah, like I am not. I don't think I honestly think if you have a hybrid which is the car I have, and I'm not saying this because I'm biased, but I genuinely think so. If you have a hybrid that
it's better
produces power from like the kinetic energy of the brakes, I get great gas mileage in my car. It's not a plug-in hybrid. Like obviously I'm still using fossil fuels. And to even be a critic of my own criticism, maybe there is slightly less fuel that takes to power an electric car. That's where like the specifics of that data, I don't know. But ultimately, obviously 2 + 2 = 4. If you're getting power, it's coming from fossil fuels.
The hybrid
in our system right now.
The hybrid's just giving it some juice with the gas injection.
Yeah. And it works like at certain point, like if the battery's charged from the certain speeds.
Yeah.
But nuclear and solar, those are the only in our lifetimes. That is the only way that we can go.
And I watched some videos recently about small nuclear energy areas where instead of building these massive plants that could like destroy a city, there's a couple of startup companies that have built these little micro, like no bigger than your studio house, that can power an entire grid in a city. And that is like the fucking pebble of whatever nuclear shit or whatever, the fusion or whatever that happens. I don't know the science of it. Is tiny. It's like a tiny little box, and then they just have to cool that, cool the reactor and like whatever. But the point of that was that it's such a small operation that the destruction would be very minimal if it ever failed. But then also there were a lot of fail safes built into what we can do with nuclear now that we didn't know in the 80s. That it makes it way more safe.
Yeah.
And because there is nuclear power, it's all over. We
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
So let's do more.
Yeah.
And make it safe.
Yeah.
And we'll be fine.
That is the
We also
closest...
don't talk about the fact that we have thousands of nuclear bombs just sitting on the planet Earth. So hello,
Yeah.
No,
we
let's get rid
can
of
use
those.
nuclear to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But we can't use nuclear to save
to say,
everybody.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fucking
That's the self-hatred that humanity inevitably has.
And we probably got to go look at some pianos.
Yeah,
right?
we unfortunately have to replace my piano
Yeah.
here in the studio.
Yeah.
It has,
She's sick.
as the technician said, it doesn't need an oil change. It needs a whole new transmission. So,
Yeah.
but he's a good dude and he's got a good business
Pooya.
model. So we'll be able to, shout out Pooya.
We're gonna try.
If anybody ever needs a piano, I forget his last name, but
I have it. Yeah, piano. Pooya piano.
yeah,
My-
he's got a great business.
He's setting up mine tomorrow, my Yamaha, for like classical chopping up. So we're gonna set the action up to be like perfect for like
getting some
rapid-
chopping for chopping.
Getting some chopping for chopping.
Chopin. Didn't catch that joke.
Yeah. So anyway,
All right. Thanks, everybody.
and
Happy
Bren
New
show.
Year. We love you. Lexapro, look into it if you're sad.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Stuff you know and stuff you don't. It's the Ben and Bren Show.